Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Miss Annalyn Aban of I Create Cafe Manila at the Felta Techbook Academy. I'm a certified Lego Education Academy trainer. And this 2021, we have our good news for everyone. For we'll be sharing you the new Lego education solution that is designed for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. At Felto Multimedia Incorporated, we aim to modernize education through Lego Education Solution. With Lego Education, we are dedicated to inspire the students of today to become smart, to become creative, and to become STEAM-minded leaders of tomorrow. Now, I'm going to show you the new Lego Education BricQ Motion Essential. Please watch the video. All right, there you go. So that is the latest BricQ Motion Essential. Now let me introduce to you the BricQ Motion Essential set. And of course, we also have the BricQ Motion Essential Personal Learning Kit. But this is an optional set. The most important thing for you to have first is the BricQ Motion Essential set. All right. But if we are considering hybrid learning, you must consider as well the optional set. This BricQ motion set is an engaging introductory hands-on STEAM solution encourage all the students to discover physical science in action. BricQ motion engage elementary and middle school students in STEM, learning as they will experiment with forces, with motion and interaction in the context of sports. BricQ motion provides easy hands-on learning experience that spark a cool aha moment with your student. A student see the set as Lego bricks in motion without the need for technology. Please take note of that, without the need of technology. Now, this BricQ motion encourage our student to discover physical science in action with Lego Education Motion Essential Set. BricQ Motion was developed based on the comprehensive research and the Lego education approach to learning, which is very important for all the Lego education solutions that we are using. Okay, this BricQ Motion is an introductory hands-on STEM experience for primary. Okay, and for secondary school student, which help them discover physical science in action with a sport related context. We are actually highlighting science in action and sports for our students. Now, as they experiment using the BricQ Motion Essential Set, it comes with hands-on with forces, hands-on with motion and interaction, which is very important for all the Lego education solutions that we have. Now, they will begin to understand the key concept related to physical science. This BricQ Motion Essential is for primary school students that is designed for grade 6 to grade 8 rather. Neither solution requires the use of technology. Now, this is suitable to introduce the BricQ motion concept by linking into the demand of physical science education and the challenges faced by STEAM teachers, especially here in our country. If possible, I'm gonna share with you the link that you can use as reference for BricQ motion, because the good thing with all the Lego education solution that we introduce with everyone, it always comes with a unit plan and a curriculum grid that you can use as reference for your classroom use. Right, so let's get started. Now, the question is, how do you get started with BricQ Motion Essential? Okay, so we have two sets. The BricQ Motion Essential set with the orange box, and we have the optional set that we code BricQ Motion Essential Personal Learning Kit. Okay, I remember, if you are considering hybrid learning, it's very necessary for you to consider the personal learning kit. Now, this BricQ motion is designed for students working in pairs. If we will be considering face-to-face learning for this 2021. So you would need one set for every two students in your classroom. Now, please take note that each set has two sorting tray. Kindly refer to the picture on my slide. Each set has a two sorting tray, and there's a sheet with sticker that you can use to label each of the 8 compartments and the bottom of the box itself. Now, there are elements that are sorted mainly by color. You know that using Lego bricks, there are different types on how we're gonna sort it according to our needs. All right, but one of the things that we can consider, we can sort this Lego pieces mainly by color. Okay, then this will help to keep the set sorted so your student can easily find the elements that they need and clean up quickly at the end of the lesson. The Lego elements come pre-sorted in box. Okay, so we have our reference as well. We have the top card that you can use for your reference on how you're gonna sort it, how you gonna assign it accordingly from the tray inside the box. Okay, so you can just open it, then dump the bricks into its respective compartment, and you can also label each box to make it easier to manage the set. Now let's talk about the hybrid learning scenarios. Okay? That's why we consider to add up the personal learning kit. For hybrid learning scenarios, personal learning kits are available to complement the classroom sets so your student can continue their hands-on learning at home. Okay? We recommend that each student has their own personal learning kit. We'll look at this later on. All right? And in a classroom setting, for most of the school nowadays are looking forward for a face-to-face learning. All right. So you have your options. So we're giving you options for you to choose which is suitable for you. For we are also considering the COVID-19 pandemic that we are experiencing right now. So we're done talking about the hybrid learning scenario. Now let's talk about in a classroom setting. Okay, student usually works best in pair. Okay, and this is how I'd like you to work with your students. So we have one box, and there must be two students per box. All right. Now, what we need to do first is to familiarize ourselves with the set. But instead of going through all of these elements, let's just do this like you would in a classroom. All right. So, of course, you need to sort everything. You need to put label. And then afterwards, as I mentioned, all the Lego education solution comes with a getting started activity. Plus, it also comes with unit plans and curriculum that you can use on how you're gonna integrate the program with your STEAM classes. Okay, so what you just need to do is, of course, follow the first lesson, which also serves as an introduction, and it is a great way for you to prepare the following lessons. Afterward, we'll take a look the units and lesson plan. All right. So for teachers out there, okay, the materials are very friendly, for it comes with the unit plans that you can use for lesson planning, plus the materials itself comes with a curriculum and a curriculum grid that you can use for your programs. All right. Now let's proceed. So I actually have here a sample of activity that we can enjoy, a simple activity that we can enjoy, but then we can learn a lot from it. Okay, this is one of the lesson that you can use for introductory. So it's entitled Train to Win. Okay, so what is we'll be talking about dogs obstacle course. So as you can see from the photo itself, these are the set of materials that you gonna use for this certain activity. But of course, you don't have your set with you. Please stay tuned, teachers, for we'll be scheduling a teacher's training for this BricQ motion. Okay, so for this dog obstacle course, of course, what we just need to do is run a shortened version of the opening lesson for us to allow our students to familiarize themselves with the set. And it comes with different theme that we can enjoy and prepare the following activity. Then, things to consider: we need to make sure that we read all the lesson plan, and of course tried out the lesson before we launch it to our student. And please take note, teachers, it's very essential that you should follow the 5E according to the shortened version of the lesson, because our main goals here for this lesson are for the student to become familiar with using the set to build models, and for them to explore how pushing and pulling affects an object's motion. Okay, please remember that with BricQ motion, everything is about sport. Everything is about forces in motion. Now, before we start exercising ourselves, we could take some inspiration from the four-legged sports heroes that shares home with many of us. Okay? So, um, you need to stay tuned for you to experience this dogs obstacle course. Of course, at this moment, what I can only do is for me to introduce the activity, and for me to give you idea on how you're supposed to do it using the BricQ motion, and how you're gonna integrate the materials for STEM. Okay, especially in science. So there you go. So the thing is, of course, we will be exploring. Then right after we explore, we will explain, we will elaborate, then we will evaluate. That's the 5E that we need to follow using all the Lego education solutions that we have. Okay, so for now, I can only introduce the different type of activity that you can enjoy with BricQ Motion Essential. For all the teachers who's watching right now, please stay tuned. For right after our launching, we will be scheduling a teachers training with BricQ Motion, and of course, it's a pre-training for everybody. Oh, then the special thing with this BricQ motion, we have here 2 units plan. Okay, so we have here science for STEM with train to win. Then we have science for STEM winning with science. Okay, now I'm going to give you an overview of BricQ motion essential units. The lesson we just did, or the lesson I just introduced to you, is just an introductory lesson to first of two BricQ motion essential units. All right. Now, brick BricQ motion, okay, comes with two units that revolves around the exciting theme of sports. Unit 1 is called A Train to Win. It's targeted at lower primary for elementary students that talks about grades from pre-K to 2. And then the unit learning premise says that this unit will give your student an understanding of forces and motion as they plan and conduct investigations about the cause and effect of push and pull forces. Okay? Now, all the lesson in this unit will introduce students to the process of asking and answering questions. Then we'll be talking also about data analysis and how to present their ideas. Of course, they need to work toward determining whether the science solution worked as they were intended to change the speed of direction of an object with a push or a pull. Okay? Then covering unit 2, it's called Winning with Science. It's targeted at upper primary, which is grade 3 to grade 5. The learning promise for this unit says this unit will develop your student understanding of forces and motion as they will engage in and conduct investigation about the effects of balance and unbalanced forces. They will investigate the patterns in an object motion, developing and sharpening their ability to predict future motion. Then, along the way, they will develop their collaborative conversation skills as they effectively engage in a range of discussion. Now, the set contains of two building instruction book. Okay, book A is for unit 1 and book B is for unit 2. So you could store them separately, and then what you just need to do is simply hand out the one that is relevant for your student. Okay, so let's proceed to the unit progression. Both units include 7 lessons that can be completed in 45 minutes each, except for the last one, which is the design to place over two 45-minute session. The first lesson in each unit is an introductory lesson that will help familiarize your student with the sport team and the content of the set and prepare them for the following lessons. Okay, then the 5 lessons in the middle of each unit are guided lesson where your student will explore various aspects of forces and motion. The final lesson in each unit is a more open-ended project that tests your student understanding of forces and motion by asking them to apply what they know in order for them to design a final creation on their own. Okay? And please take note that all of the lesson include mathematics or language or art extension and the lesson plan which detailed instruction for preparing, for facilitating, and for following up on all of the lessons that can be found on legoeducation.com/lessons. Okay? So another activity that you can enjoy, get up and dance. Then talking about hybrid learning with personal learning kits. Okay, so we redesigned the unit plans. Sometimes would like to continue hands-on learning when the student aren't at school but effective. Structure hands-on learning outside the classroom can be very challenging for everybody. Now, to make it to make this easier, BricQ Motion offers a personal learning kit in additional to the classroom set. This kit contains familiar Lego elements and printed building instruction. It also comes with additional teaching and learning resources that are linked directly to the classroom lesson in BricQ Motion Essential Units. With this lesson extension, students can deepen their understanding of what they've learned with the classroom set at school when they are home. Okay? There you go. Now, going back to the personal learning kit, each unit includes three lessons with a personal learning kit extension for you to allow your hybrid learning with a good mix of in-class and at-home learning. In contrast to the classroom set that are meant to be shared by two students, the personal kits are designed for one student to take home and use their own as the name suggested. Okay? Okay, look at this one. So we have here the essential unit for hybrid learning with personal learning kit. Look at this one. There you go. Okay. Now, um, let's talk about the 5E. The scaffold learning of LEGO education has chosen to follow the 5E instructional model. It was based on the constructivist theory, okay? It's a well-proven and widely used model that's considered to be very effective for STEAM learning. Okay, so it consists of engagement. All right. Students' prior knowledge, access, and interest, engage, and phenomenon. Okay. The teacher or a curriculum task access the learner's prior knowledge and help them become engaged in a new concept through the use of short activities that promotes their curiosity and elicit prior knowledge. Okay. The activity should make connection between past and present learning experiences, expose prior conceptions, and organize student thinking toward learning of the outcomes of current activities. And the second one is the second E is explore. Exploration. Student participates in an activity that facilitates conceptual change. Exploration experience provides student with a common base of activities within which current concept or misconception. Process, we'll talk about skills that are identified on conceptual change is facilitated. Our learners may complete lab activities that help them use prior knowledge to generate new ideas, okay, explore questions and possibility, and design and conduct a preliminary investigation. Okay, so let's proceed with the third E. Okay, the third E talks about explain. Explanation. Students generate an explanation of phenomenon. The explanation phase focuses students' attention on a particular aspect of their engagement and exploration experience and provide opportunities to demonstrate their conceptual understanding, process skills, or behavior. With this space, it also provides opportunity for teachers to directly introduce a concept process or skill. Okay? Learner will explain their understanding of the concept and an explanation from the teachers or the curriculum may also guide them toward a deeper understanding, which is a critical part of the space. Okay? So let's move forward with the fourth E, which is elaborate. Okay. Student understanding of the phenomenon challenge and deepen through the new experiences. Teachers challenge and extend our student conceptual understanding and skills. Through these new experiences, the student develop deeper and broader understanding, more information, and adequate skills. Students can apply their understanding of the concept by conducting additional activities, of course. Then our final E will talk about evaluation or evaluate. Okay. With evaluation, students assess their understanding of the phenomenon. Okay. The evaluation phase encourage the student to assess their understanding and abilities and provides opportunities for teachers to evaluate our student progress toward achieving the educational objectives. Now, please take note that all of the BricQ motion lessons follow this structure, making them easy to plan and implement. Okay? So, another activity that you can enjoy, gravity car. Okay, winning with science. No need for this recap activity. Now, the classroom management. We'll talk about preparation and practices. Okay, so with this classroom management, we will address the most important aspect of classroom management because it's very important to ensure a smooth experience when using the BricQ motion in your classroom. So there are some best practices and a few preparation aspects that you can consider. Okay, I'm going to share the top 5 tips and tricks that you think are the most relevant for this classroom management portion. Okay. Now let's talk about preparation. Set and storage, documentation tool, space, and lesson planning. So it's for preparation, what you just need to do is follow the getting started content on legoeducation.com. Okay? So for set and storage, before using the BricQ motion for the first time, so what you just need to do is simply unpack and prepare the set. And for you to save the time, okay, prepare one set for yourself and let your student prepare the other set. That's the usual thing that we usually do using Lego Education Solution with our regular classes. Now, if possible, you can assign each set, okay, to the same student for the um one whole term as long as they'll be using it. But please make sure to put a sticker on the backs with their name so that they'll pay more attention to keep their set neat and complete, of course. If this is not possible, what you can do is use numbers or other label set for the set. Okay. Next, you can also designate a cabinet, wheeled cart, or other space and storing the sets and potentially any creation between lesson. And for each lessons, it can be completed within 45 minutes, but you sometimes might want to extend the lesson. So it's always up to your design curriculum. If other group won't be using the set between lesson, you might want your student to keep their model intact for the next lesson. Now, many of the models will also fit in the storage box, okay, where they can be stored for the next lesson. That is actually much safer. Now, if they are not fit, put them on top of the storage box, or you can simply mark them using different colored Lego bricks to make sure that each group can find their model for the next lesson and it can be easily identified. As the name suggests, the personal learning kit meant for student to take home. All right? Then let's talk about space. Make sure that there is enough space on the table wherein they can work with their Lego bricks. Okay? for working and for testing, of course. Then for lesson planning, simply choose the lesson that you want to do and try to complete it as if that you were a student. That is the benefit of the teacher using Lego Education Solution. You should enjoy as well. Plan the lesson and, of course, prepare any specific resources that you need. Okay. And for best practice, of course, it's very essential that you supposed to have your rules. Okay. Especially with elementary student, the younger student, work together to define a set of rules like this and post them somewhere in a classroom for everyone to see. Everyone listen when someone else speak. These are just example. We only use the elements from our own set. That is very important. When the teachers clap, okay, we all stop and take our hands off of our creation. Because when we give them time to open their boxes, to hold those Lego pieces, technically most of the student focuses and building and building and building. That's why we need to set that kinds of rules we that we want to get their attention. There must be a signal. All right. Then, when we use the leads, the plastic storage boxes as trays to work on for carrying creations around the classroom. And of course, we are responsible for keeping our set complete and sorted. And then, it's very important as well that we store them at the end of each lesson. Um, Part of the rules is tidy up. Okay, leave enough time for your students so they can store their creation, to disassemble their creation and put the elements back into the storage box. Okay, it's very important as well that you have the lost and found. Designate a small jar or box, okay, for any pieces found on floor or somewhere else, and tell everyone that cleaning up or working in the room about it. If anyone is missing an element from their set during a lesson, they can look for it in the jar or box. Okay? Tidy up, lost and found, and of course, checking and sorting. Color sorting is one of the easiest way for you to check whether the sets are sorted. When you are following basic rules, it should not be necessary to check whether the sets are complete on a regular basis, but it could make sense for you to do this at the end of a term or after a bigger project. Okay. On our end, usually, okay, because we usually have our robotics class using we do in Miriam College once a week. So right after the classes, we make sure that we do the inventory. But for our regular classes in I Create Cafe Manila, we sort all the set at the end of the week. Okay? So it's always up to your program. Okay? But those are just tips that you can consider. Okay? And it's, if not required for a project, please avoid mixing the set. Okay? Each set already contains a box of replacement elements in case something gets lost. Okay, that's why it's this BricQ motion is a very special set that we supposed to have. Okay. Then many individual can also be found on lego.com. All right. Then for evaluation, what you just need to do is take a few minutes after each lesson to evaluate it. Then compare notes with any student at your school or social media using BricQ motion for you to compare and for your reference, of course. Right? Then for classroom implementation. Okay, now that you are already familiar with BricQ motion and have hopefully experienced how it can be used for fun and effective hands-on learning, regardless of whether a play activity falls closer to pre-play, guided play, or games on learning continuum. We say that learning through play happens when an activity is expired as joyful, and then help children find meaning in what they're doing and learning, involving activity, engage minds on thinking, involves iterative thinking, experimentation, hypothesis testing, and involves social interaction. You'll soon return to your student, and I'm excited to hear how you will make effective hands-on learning through play comes alive with BricQ motion in your classroom. Okay? Now, for further information about the characteristic of play experience and the theory behind them, you can actually find it through www.legoeducation.com. Okay? Now, let's talk about Lego Education Learning Continuum. So, as you can see, we have here first the early learning solution. What are those? Steam Park, Coding Express, Animal Bingo, and many more. Then for primary level, we have their Widget 2.0, plus the BricQ Motion Essential. And for secondary, we have the Lego Education Spike Prime, BricQ Motion Prime, and Lego Mindstorms Education EV3. Lego Education Solutions are very organized into three developmental levels: early learning, primary, and secondary learning. As students progress from one level to the next, there's a continuous connection between the science and engineering concept that they learn. Okay? They begin with the learning simple structure and go on to explore the operation of gears, levers, and pulleys. Okay? Eventually, they progress to basic programming. Reinforcement and continuity help students understand the design engineering process really is an interactive process that includes trial and error. Now, BricQ motion in a STEM solution that introduce both primary and secondary school students to the Lego education way of learning. All right. So I would like to thank everybody who is watching with us today. And please remember us to follow us. So that is for today. Thank you for watching with us. And I hope to see you again for the scheduled training. Lego Education is also present on different social media platforms where you're more than welcome to use the hashtag to share your ideas and experience. All right. So we have a Twitter at legoeducation.com, for Instagram at legoeducation.com, for Facebook at Lego Education Official. We also have our Pinterest account, YouTube account. All right. So for more information, you can actually use the social media platforms. Now, I mentioned that there are two types um, of BricQ. Okay, for primary, we have the BricQ Motion Essential, and for secondary, we have the BricQ Motion Prime. Now, I'm okay. So now that's it for today. I'm going to end my talk with the BricQ motion video for primary and for secondary program. Thank you so much and good luck to everybody. All right, so that is the BricQ Motion Essential for primary students. Now, let me show you the BricQ Motion Prime for secondary students. All right, so that is awesome and exciting. So I guess that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching with us and enjoy the rest of the day. God bless everybody.